Likutei Halachos Arachaim Hilchos Nesias Kapayim Halacha Daled Behold Masiv Zayin. And according to those things that we said before, that before you come from one Nasav Nishma, a lower Nasav Nishma, into a higher essence, aspect of Nasav Nishma, you have to go through a trough through a Yerida. According to those things, it is very well understood, this whole union of Nesias Kapayim, of Duchaning, at the end of the Tefillah, in the three last benedictions of Shmoneh Esrei. Ki Tefillah ubchinos nishma, the whole Tefillah bichlal, its aspect is an union of nishma, we will hear. דהיינו שמספר עם השם יזברך להשיג הנשמה והנסתר. In other words, ידאג into Hashem Yisborach to attain that nishma, that which will be heard, that which is still unknown. Ki ikar tefillah, the main essence of our tefillah, what are we davening for? ובשביל שנזכה לרפואת הנפש ולפרנסתו, is to heal our soul and to sustain it, as Rabbeinu says. ואז בגבר נגמר התפילה, at the end of the prayer, when we finish the middle benedictions, the middle brachas, שאנו בטוחים שהשם יזברך שומע תפילת כל פה. We are absolutely certain that Kadosh Baruch Hu hears the tefillah of everybody. And Kadosh Baruch Hu will fulfill whatever we're asking for. We're saying that Kadosh Baruch Hu hears the tefillah, and we make a bracha b'shem malchus. It's not a small thing. You're making a bracha that Kadosh Baruch Hu hears tefillah. To say something so definitive b'shem malchus is not a small thing. We are absolutely certain that Kadosh Baruch Hu shomea tefillah. And now we are offering the three last brachas like a slave, like an eved, kibel pras merabah, that receive a bonus. A servant received a bonus from his rebbe. Okay, and that's the reason why then we mention or. You alone with the or we shall serve. Ki ayira ve'or u'b'chinas ma'amar shalom. That's a complete ma'amar shezoichin asig that tefillah. This is what you attain by davening. She'az matchil liot nishlam b'nyan Yerushalayim. This completes the construction of Yerushalayim. Shu b'chinas chosim hayadim. That's the seal of the hands. Ve'az ha'kohanim mokim ragleim nesias kapayim. That's why the kohanim have to start moving towards the bima, to duchen, to lift their hands. And then after they start moving, we're saying moedim. We're thanking and we're bowing down when we say moedim. When moedim, we're saying HaKadosh Baruch Hu for all the miracles and all the incredible things He does with us every single day, every single time. And we say the miracles that are with us every single day. Because every single day a Yid experiences miracles. But and the wonders which happen to us every single day. In every single time, in every single given moment. In the evening, in the morning, at noon, all the time, 24 hours a day, non-stop. And the main thanks is Yeshua Nefesh. That's the deliverance of the nefesh of the soul. Al nisim v'niflos she'HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yibach oseim kol echad echad nisrod b'chol yom u'b'chol esel b'chol sha'ah. The unbelievable miracles and salvations and deliverances that HaKadosh Baruch Hu does with every Jew any given moment. She'mitzah v'sibas toivoso b'chol et, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu brings causalities and things that cause, and one thing leads to another. To His own good. So sof kol sof, that vino vi at the end, you'll have a rectification forever. A person can attain unbelievable levels of spirituality and knowing of Hashem. any time that he wants to awaken himself to get closer to Hashem Yisborach. Hashem Yisborach, Tov L'Kol Tamid, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is good to everyone all the time. And his mercy is on all those, on all his deeds. And it's known that the main Rahman is the main goodness, the main is the eternal goodness. To be zeicha, to come close to the Avodas Hashem, really, to really come to Avodas Hashem. But besides that, everything is nonsense. The main Rahman of Kodesh Baruch Hu is not just parnasa and health, bodily health. Because what good would the best health in the world, physical health in the world, would be if a person if he doesn't help a person to come closer to Kodesh Baruch Hu? It's not a mercy, it's not compassion to give a person $1 million or more, and afterwards they're going to beat him up and torture him, with unbelievable tortures a few hundreds of years. What good is it do to him? B'frat Hashem Yisborach, especially HaKadosh Baruch Hu that knows the future, and who like him knows this entire world is nothing, is empty. It's like a passing shadow of a bird. And there's no goodness in the world, there's no this worldly goodness that is called Tova B'chlal. Nothing in this world is called Tova. There's no shum Tova, but there's no such goodness and Rahmanis in this world, worldly goodness is called Tova, unless an actual Tova in Yeshua Avodas Hashem is going to come out of it. Because all the Tovas and all the miracles and all the niflos HaKadosh Baruch Hu does with that every single day is, other thing is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu thinks machshavas, that we should not stray from him, that no one will get lost. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu switches and turns over the world. So a person can be zeicha to whatever it is if only he wants to. Bimlav, and if a person doesn't want to, at least he shouldn't get lost. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave bechira to a person. Chazal said every single day the evil inclination of a person wakes up and riles him up. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu wouldn't help him, chas v'chalila, a person would fall in his hands. And somebody that gets into Avodas Hashem for any length of time, any period of time, he can see from afar unbelievable miracles. Nisei Plois, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu does with each and every person, it just to keep him in Kedushas Yisrael, to keep him in Kedushas Yisrael. V'aklal sheikar nitzim nefloshim shechem Hashem Yisborach. The main miracles that we thank to HaKadosh Baruch Hu is that the smoidim that we said, the benediction of smoidim was saying, the main thanks that we pay is for the true salvations of the soul. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu does with us unbelievable miracles every single day, at all times, every given moment, in such a way that chas v'chalila we should not stray away from him. And not only that HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't push us away because of our averos, but with his unbelievable Rahman's compassion, he brings us closer. He switches the descent into an ascent, and the averos, the sins, he turns into mitzvahs, and he does with us unbelievable miracles at every given moment, in such a way that we'll be able to come out of darkness into light, to great from great darkness and tremendous light. And that's the ness of Chanukah, that's a miracle of Chanukah, that's the ness of Purim, that we say in Birkas Anisim, that we're able to drive down the Malchus Yavon, the Hellenistic, the hedonistic, this Western, and also Haman Yimach Shemoi, they are all jealous of Am Yisrael, and he wanted to drive him away from Avodas Hashem. And Haman Arosha, because of his kinah, he wanted to totally annihilate the Jews. And Hashem Yisborach, with his great mercy, he turned it from Yogolan to Simcha, from mourning to rejoicing. Totally the opposite, diametrically opposed. Not only that the bad thought did not come about, Chas v'shalom, we're also zeichen that we have new Yom Tovim. We have tremendous two Yom Tovim, which is Chanukah Purim. That we're zeichen to get unbelievable hours, new asagas, new illuminations in the greatness of Kodesh Baruch Hu, to make new mitzvahs, to actually great new mitzvahs, which are the kelim. These are the spacecrafts with which we can travel to infinity. That the neshama can exist as a separate entity. You know, this whole union of spacecrafts is a mashal of what the mitzvahs are, because we are the essence of a Kodesh Baruch Hu. Kodesh Baruch Hu is the isness of everything, and we are part of that. Now, if we didn't have these cells, these spaceships that will separate us from the everything which is a Kodesh Baruch Hu, we would become one with, like you're taking a candle and bringing it to a big flame. The flame of the candle just jumps into the big flame and disappears. When it disappears, we need this kind of exoskeleton, this kind of a skin, this kind of a spaceship that will keep us separate from Kodesh Baruch Hu while we're traveling towards infinity. Oh. Every single mitzvah is this kind of spacecraft. A new mitzvah means it's a new means for us to retain our independent existence while we are traveling towards infinity. So you see that the Yerid of Am Yisrael, that they were so low, and they were blackened like I don't know what, like the bottom of a pot. Haman and the Avonim, everybody's making fun of them, and Obama and the Bummer and all those. You know, they're putting us down with Iran and this and that. All this, it becomes the totally opposite. There was such tremendous light, such mitzvahs kedoshos, and such unbelievable days. The same thing happens with every person, every zman, every day, morning, evening, noontime, every time Kodesh Baruch Hu does with us unbelievable, unceasing miracles. So a person should not fall chas v'shalom, like the Baal Dava wants, to bury each and every one of us. Adarabah, with Hashem's great compassion, He turns the reader to Aliyah. I heard once from Yaakov Meir Shechter that he said, the Haman says, it says, Yesh Am Echad in the Megillah, there's one nation, Mefuzah, Mefurah, Mikol Amim. He says it's totally tzishpreit about all the nations. V'dos HaMelech Eina Oisim, and the religions of the king, they don't do. V'ata Ima LaMelech Tov, if the king sees fit, Yikosav LaAbdam, write them to annihilate them. To annihilate them. So they darshan it that we didn't have miracles. They have miracles in Mitzrayim. Why? They had problems in Mitzrayim. Kodesh Baruch Hu saved them. Bada bim, bada boom. There's Pesach. And then you had this union of the Yevanim, and so forth and so on. It says, V'dasei Melech does say that it brings a riot. It doesn't means they don't have a holiday after the Melech Achashverosh. They still don't have a miracle. They don't have a holiday named after you. Now, if you want them to have a holiday named after you, because of the Abdom, come with a decree to annihilate them. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will come and save them. But they will have a new holiday with name after you. You're falling asleep right in front of my eyes. I'm talking to you.
I told you.
I don't care what you told me.
So have Rachmanis.
What does it mean, Rachmanis? I told you can come. I didn't know what you wanted me to do. What does it mean, Rachmanis? You should tell you yes to come, not to come. I don't care. It's okay. I'm a known soporific. I put people to sleep all the time. Believe half the people who watch this are falling asleep in the middle. Don't worry about it.
Just insomniacs.
Yeah. That's what I need, insomniacs. Turn it off.